The Americans' bats have been cold of late, struggling against consecutive Tarp Skunks lefties. Today they look to get back on track, avoid the sweep against Jamestown, and prove that they are still in the mix for the West Division. It's the Americans. It's the Tarp Skunks. It's PGCBL Baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome into Sal Magley Stadium for the series finale of Americans and Tarp Skunks. Tarp Skunks clinched the series win and the season series win with last night's victory, but tonight the Americans look to avoid the sweep and tie back up with the Skunks in the league standings. We'll give you a look at those standings as they stand right now in just a moment. But before that, I'll introduce myself. I'm Andrew Roberts, your play-by-play broadcaster for all the action tonight. Avery Vogt, my color commentator, will be with us in just a few moments later tonight, but we'll take a look before this game begins at the PGCBL standings. Muck Dogs still in first place at 24-10-1, swept the Pilots over the last 2 days. Pilots still in that playoff race, but beginning to fall out of things. Tarp Skunks at 23-12 in second place. The Americans 1 game behind them in third. Doubledays currently hold the final playoff spot, but the Elmira Pioneers inched closer to Auburn with a win over the Doubledays last night. Pios and Doubledays fighting for that 4 seed right now, and if those top 3 teams aren't careful, they could potentially be at risk of falling out of the playoff race as well, but the Americans looking to avoid that with a win tonight. They've got games against Geneva and Niagara in their final 2. The Pilots, who haven't won in a while, coming up next Tuesday, but tonight just looking to avoid this sweep against the Skunks. Gavin Boyle out there talking to the umpires right now. We'll have pregame ceremonies in just a moment here. Gavin holding another home plate. And as we wait for pregame ceremonies to begin, we will give you a look at the lineup for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Leading off, Brady McGuire for the 3rd straight night at second base. Nolan Smith batting second, playing first. Ben Slankers, the DH tonight. He bats third for the 3rd night in a row as well. Justin Bremner in the cleanup spot per usual in right field tonight. Nathan Borchardt, the extra hitter, bats 5th. Brady Marshall in the 6th hole at short. Eric Weeks in left field batting 7th. Blake Herman at 3rd for a 3rd straight game batting 8th. Nico Frizzell, he pinch ran in the first 2 games, now starting in center. Branson Lindquist once again rounding things out. So the Skunks really from 1 to 10, a strong lineup all around. They've combined for 9 runs in 2 games against these Americans, but the biggest thing is that the last 2 Tarp Skunks pitchers have held the Americans to just 1 combined run in these last 2 games. Hunter Bell pitching yesterday. Colin Bulla with a complete game back on Wednesday. And Anthony Serrano out of the pen dazzled for Jamestown as well. But generally, the Americans have struggled this season against left-handed pitchers. It's been lefty starters in each of their last 3 games, and they've only scored a total of 2 runs against those 3 starters. Mind you, they did score more late in the Batavia game off of their bullpen for that amazing walk-off win back on Tuesday. But since then, just 1 run scored in the 2 games against Jamestown. Looking to change that tonight as Will Cordero and Frank Jagoda meet at home plate with the umpires. It will be a right-handed pitcher for Jamestown tonight, so the Americans looking to change things up with tonight's starting lineup. Grant Moore leading things off in center field. Chris Gazalda back up to the 2-hole playing third. Gavin Boyle, the DH, in the 3 spot. Graydon Miller clean up per usual at first base. Tommy Mathay down to the 5 spot in left field. He's riding a 5-game hit streak. Nick Pass doing the catching, batting 6th. Carm Panaro in right field, bats 7th, back after a day off. Logan Stickler, the extra hitter, playing for the first time this series, though his Americans debut was against Jamestown, and he had a double down the line. Alan Ramos at shortstop, batting 9th, and Connor Kiefer back in the order, batting last, playing 2nd. We'll pause for the time being for pregame ceremonies. When we're back, we'll introduce you to the starting pitcher for the Americans tonight.
The Sam Smith School is located in Amherst and just celebrated its 31st anniversary of providing high-quality dance instruction for students ages 3 through adult. Today's performance features dancers ages 5 through 18 with different levels of dance experience. These students have had a great time working on this special project, and it really shows how dancing at Sam Smith fosters teamwork, confidence, and joy. You can visit the Sam Smith School of Dance website to register for classes and join the dance studio, where the student gains self-esteem through the ability to dance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Sam Smith School of Dance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sam Smith School of Dance. Thank you so much, ladies, for bringing that sunshine on a beautiful night for baseball. What a great way to start off an amazing night of baseball here at Sam Maggie Stadium. Fans, at this time, we'd like to introduce the starting lineup for the visiting Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Batting first and playing second base is number 30, Brady McGuire. Batting second is first baseman number 14, Nolan Smith. Batting third and DHing this evening is number 44, Ben Slanker. In the cleanup position, batting fourth and playing right field is number 9, Justin Bremner. Batting Batting fifth for the Tarp Skunks is the extra hitter, number 19, Nathan Borchardt. In the sixth spot and playing shortstop is number 28, Brady Marshall. In left field, batting seventh is number 6, Eric Weeks. Batting eighth and playing third base is number 18, Blake Herman. In center field and batting ninth is number 13, Mike Frizzell. And batting 10th and behind the plate is the catcher number 45, Branston Lindquist. On the mound for the Tarp Skunks is number 27, Colin Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the visiting Jamestown Tarp Skunks. The Skunks are coached by Frank Jacoda and assisted by Allende Hall. And now, fans, let's make some noise as we introduce tonight's starting lineup for your Niagara Falls Americans. They are joined tonight by the Red Robin baseball buddies from Niagara Junior Purple Eagles and Cayuga Athletics. Batting first and playing center field from Mount Vernon Nazarene University, number 25, Grant Moore. Batting second and playing third base from Panola College, number 42, Christopher Gazzaldo. Batting third is the DH from SUNY Niagara, number 16, Gavin Boyle. In the cleanup spot for the Americans from Drury University is first baseman number 15, Braden Miller. Batting fifth and patrolling left field from Panola College is number 2, Tommy Maffei. Behind the plate and batting sixth from Eastern Florida State University is the catcher number 20, Nick Past. In right field, a fellow Niagara University Purple Eagle, it's number 21, batting seventh, Carmen Ramos. And batting 10th and playing second base from Alfred State College is number 1, Connor Kiefer. The starting pitcher for tonight's game is also from Niagara University. It's number 29, C.J. Hurley. Fans, please welcome the rest of your Niagara Falls Americans. The Americans are led by coaches Will Cordero and Paul Wolf, as well as clubhouse manager Riley Drew Cross, and the Americans' official team trainer is Krista Mao. And now, fans, please help us welcome the most passionate, patriotic, and polarizing mascot in the entire PGCBL. Please welcome Apollo. Apollo just flew into town, and boy, are his wings tired. And now, fans, you know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. Please give it up for your in-stands host, a true patriot wrapped head to toe in freedom. He's the red, white, and blue glue holding the stands together. Please welcome Yankee Doodle Dan. Later on, Dan will be putting his undefeated streak on the line in the Wegmans Kids Run. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as able and remove your hats for the performance of our national anthem. For tonight's national anthem, please welcome Jason Moynihan. He is the father of Niagara Falls Americans catcher Nick Pass. He's also a national touring and recording artist that has played with Buddy Guy, B.B. King, and Carlos Santana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jason Moynihan. Moynihan. Thank you very much, Jason. Fans, we have a special honor tonight. As I mentioned earlier, Niagara Falls have partnered with Bikers Against Child Abuse this season. And I'm going to read from their pamphlet that gives information about their organization. Bikers Against Child Abuse exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. It exists as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. They stand ready to lend support to their wounded friends by involving them with the and it's game time at the barbershop.
Testing. Hello.
Welcome back into Sal Magley Stadium. It's a beautiful day for baseball and a great crowd here at the ballpark. We'll introduce you to our American starting pitcher, C.J. Hurley. Hurley on the year, a 1-3 record, 4.34 ERA, and 22 strikeouts. The only lefty in the Americans rotation after 2 straight Jamestown pitchers who are lefties. We'll also introduce you to our color commentator, Avery Vogt, back on the broadcast just in time for game time. Avery, how you doing today?
Oh, Andrew, it's a great day out. It's a sunny day. It's a perfect conditions for baseball, so I'm expecting a very good game here today.
A great graphic indeed. Or great day indeed, excuse me. But we are underway for the first inning. It's a foul ball by Brady McGuire for strike 1. A nice catch in the stands. I mean, not banana ball, but a nice catch nonetheless. Strike 2 on the outside edge. Brady McGuire, been the leadoff man for the Skunks this entire series. Takes one outside to stay alive. McGuire batting .341 on the year with a .943 OPS. Couple of times on base the last time here at Sal Magley, but a slow night in game 2 of the series. It's 2-2 to him right now. 2-2 pitch is fouled off again. McGuire fighting after the early 0-2 count.
Yeah, McGuire there. Like you said, Andrew got in the 0-2 hole real quick, but he's bounced back, and he's definitely still in this at-bat, excuse me.
Just outside to fill up this count. Brady McGuire. The back and forth battle with C.J. Hurley. Here's the payoff. It's lined up the middle. Moore coming in, dives, but can't make the grab. Brady McGuire has a double. And Graham Moore is still down on the ground. Now McGuire into third. And this is very concerning. Graham Moore is down. Everyone coming to check on him. We'll hope he's all right.
Yeah, Andrew there. It seemed like Grant Moore, when he tried to dive and make that catch, he might have landed on his non-dominant hand a little awkwardly there, it appears. So we're hoping he's okay.
Goes down as a triple for Brady McGuire. But most importantly, Grant Moore checked on by the Americans training staff. It's a tough way to start the game for the Americans. Not only the triple given up, but Grant Moore in pain in center field. And he is up. And he's going to walk off this field. Good to see he's doing okay. So Moore is out. Shot is in. And the question right now is where Shot's going to play. Mathay seems to have moved towards center field. Grant Moore in pain, but glad that he's up. He's walking. So Liam Schott takes over in left field, and Tommy Mathay shifts over to center. And that is going to mean that Liam Schott is set to be in line as the Americans' leadoff hitter today.
Yeah, it's definitely an early hit there for the Americans. Grant Moore, a great leadoff guy, and now they're going to have to figure out the rest of this game without him.
Been a bit of a slump of late, but Grant Moore, highest batting average on the team, highest qualified batting average in the PGCBL. That's an unfortunate way to start. A foul ball to make it 2-1 on the new batter, Nolan Smith. Hurley throws one low and away. The Americans been struggling this series, and another blow right there. But the count's all filled up. Here's another payoff from Hurley. It's fouled off to keep Smith alive. 2 consecutive at-bats with full counts. I mean, C.J. Hurley throwing a lot of pitches in the early going here. This will be his 14th. And it's upstairs. Nolan Smith walks. It's runners on first and third with nobody out. C.J. Hurley's thrown 14 pitches.
Yeah, it's not the best start the Americans were looking for, like you said. 14 pitches for Hurley and 2 runners on with no outs. So got to keep the damage down here and try to keep these pitch counts lower here for Hurley if we want to keep going here in this game.
I mean, got to be tough for morale after what happened on the very first play. Hurley throws it down the pike for strike 1 to Ben Slanker. And Grant Moore has a wrist injury. We'll see what the official word is, but Slanker grounds that into right field for the base hit. 1 run scores. Tarp Skunks up 1-0 with their second hit of the day. The Americans disappointed to be trailing, but most importantly, just prayers up for Grant Moore. Justin Bremner. With runners on first and second, it's Smith and Slanker. McGuire already scored on the RBI single. 0-1 to Justin Bremner. Down in Jamestown, they've started calling Ben Slanker Slank the Tank. Just outside to make it 1-1. Line shot into right field. Panaro chasing it down, makes the grab for out number 1. A much needed out for these Americans. Justin Bremner, the first batter, retired.
Yeah, Bremner there. Well, we've preached about this whole year, Andrew, is making weak contact, and that ball there gone. It goes in the just about the right field to get the nice first out here for these Americans.
Nathan Borchardt up next for Jamestown. And similar to Brady McGuire, a big first game. Before a slower second game. This is up the middle. A dive by Kiefer. The throw is in time. 2 down for the Americans. Connor Kiefer with another web gem.
Yeah, that was a nice play there by Kiefer. Just makes a difficult catch there over there at second base. And although unfortunate enough not to get the double play, it's a great play to get it out at first there. So productive out there.
Advanced to second and third, but a nice out indeed, Avery. Brady Marshall takes it outside. Marshall batting .330 with an .872 OPS. Has it 1-1 on the count with 2 runners in scoring position. Fouled off to put the count in Hurley's favor. C.J. Hurley 1 strike away from ending this inning. Then the Americans come up to bat, and they may not have Graham Moore, but looking to score some runs in his honor. C.J. Hurley, 1-2 pitch, grounded. Kiefer picks it up at second to throw to first in time for out number 3. Won't have to worry about the runners in scoring position. They'll send it to the bottom of the first, and we'll be right back with the Americans lineup.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We bring you back for the bottom of the first inning. We'll give you another look at the Americans lineup, but there have been some changes since we last gave you it. Graham Moore out of this game. Liam Schott, the new leadoff hitter, will be in left field batting first. Chris Gazaldo at third base batting second still. Gavin Boyle, the DH, final hitter, due up in this inning. Braden Miller in the cleanup spot. Tommy Mathay shifts over to center. Nick Pastu in the catching. Panaro in right. Stickler, the extra hitter. And then Ramos and Kiefer, the middle infield, in the final 2 spots in the batting order. And Liam Schott up to bat first. Andrew Roberts back here with Avery Vogt as the Americans get set to face Cohen Harris. The righty 0-1 with a .582 ERA and 15 strikeouts. He's played at Division I High Point He's had mixed results against these Americans. When he's on, looks really good, but at the same time has had his rough days. Big cut and miss from Shot for strike one. Has not had a hit on the season for the Americans, but has reached base multiple times. .417 on base percentage. Another swing and miss. Shot down in the count early. Americans need this win. Gonna need some gritty hitting. Swing and a miss on 3 pitches for Shot, though, to start this game. Cohen Harris with a strikeout early.
Yeah, Cohen Harris, they just seem to be attacking, and rightfully so. And Liam Shot goes down, unfortunately, like you said, Andrew, on 3 pitches. So now we're up to Chris Gonzalez.
Yeah. Chris Gonzalez starting the heart of this order with more out. Strike one on that outside edge of the zone. A borderline call. Right over that edge to the lefty batter's box. And there's a grounder into the shallow outfield. Backing up, Brady McGuire makes the throw to first for out number 1. McGuire with a nice play there. Tracking that ball perfectly. And it's 2 down with Gavin Boyle up next. Gavin Boyle has been in left field almost every game for these Americans. Been needing a day, at least out of the field. And now in this game as the DH. Just outside. Finds the zone anyways. It's 0-1. One's across the board, or excuse me, one's with 2 down. Boyle looking to get on base, be the first base runner for these Americans. Has the count in his favor at 2-1. Harris with a 3-pitch strikeout against Liam Shot, then forcing the softer contact from Gonzalez for out number 2. That's a high chopper. Picked up by McGuire again. Boyle not even close to beating that out. Americans go down 1-2-3. We'll send it to the top of the second. Skunks looking to expand on their lead.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the top of the 2nd inning here on the Americans Baseball Network. 2nd inning brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. We return. Andrew Roberts here with Avery Vogt, and it's Eric Weeks, Blake Herman, and Nico Frizzell due up in the order for Jamestown. Weeks, 250 hitter on the year, 781 OPS. Has had a tendency against these Americans to hit balls deep into center. Grant Moore been tracking him down every time, but Tommy Mathay in center field to start inning number 2. 0-1 outside edge strike from the batter Weeks. Weeks fouls it off to go into the 0-2 hole early in the at-bat.
Yeah, Hurley there is fortunate enough to get a swing out of Weeks there. It looked like it probably would have clunked him, but Weeks was fooled by that pitch and swung at it.
0-2 pitch. Thrown up and away. Hurley mentioned before the game his number one goal in this start was to get ahead in counts. So far has done that with mixed results. Another grounder to Kiefer. He's been busy early in this game. The shovel to Miller for out number one. Connor Kiefer has had 3 consecutive ground balls to him. Retired 3 straight batters with those.
Yeah, we've seen more recently in these games Connor Kiefer playing second base, and he's been holding it down just as well. As he's been getting a lot of balls, like you said, Andrew, his way, and he can always make that play. He's a very reliable defender on the field here.
Ian Huang played second in the middle game of this series, but Connor Kiefer sandwiching him at second base. C.J. Hurley switches out his baseball after an early ball to Blake Herman. Herman, a .270 hitter, .677 OPS. One of 3 Canisius players in the order. It's an inside corner strike to Herman. Weeks also from Canisius, as is Justin Bremner. High chopper foul. To put a second strike on here.
Yeah, that ball would have been an easy play for Graydon Miller over there at first. Fortunately, like you said, Andrew, the ball just was about a tad bit outside the foul line, so goes back to the box here.
Yeah, just barely outside down that first base line. Now count even. And all 3 of these guys watched today by a Canisius staff member that also calls herself their Canisius mom. It's a grounder from short to first, and it is dropped by Miller. Error on Graydon Miller. And Blake Herman, the first of those Canisius players on base today.
Yeah, Ramos there made a pretty good play and a nice throw, and fortunately, Graydon Miller just kind of bobbles that ball. So runner on here for the Tarp Skunks.
But a fan from Canisius down the third base line, a friend of our public address announcer, Doc Fawns, here to watch these 3 Canisius players in the order. And now Herman's on first after the error. Nico Frizzell up next. 094 hitter, 386 OPS. Ones across the board to Nico. Hurley looks behind him, now delivers. And it's down and in to put the count in Frizzell's favor. And a wild pitch by Hurley. Second base taken by Herman. So Blake Herman has taken 2 bases in this game, neither of them on a hit. A free bag given up on the error, and then another free bag on the wild pitch. Not ideal for the Americans. 3-1 pitch here, finds the strike zone down the pike, and Frizzell does not bite. He was ready for the walk, but gonna have to stay in the batter's box here with the count full. Hurley, his 3rd full count of the game. Here's the payoff pitch. High chopper. And gets to Ramos at short. The throw is not in time. That ball just chopped too high for Ramos to get there. And it's a base hit for Nico Frizzell. Blake Herman stays on second base.
Yeah, that ball right there, unfortunately, sees the downside of playing on a turf field. Just hits a crazy bounce to Ramos, so he's got to take a second to recoup. And unfortunately, just the throw was just not in time there to Graydon Miller this time.
C.J. Hurley been a victim of those at times, but a low-edge strike to start things off against Branston Lindquist. Lindquist had a big game against the Americans last night in Jamestown. We're going to build off that. He's caught all 3 games for the Skunks this series. Rare to see, given Jacob Haynes and Nathan Borchardt have mixed in at catcher. One's across the board again. It's been 3 close battles in a row in the count for CJ Hurley. The first one, the error, allowing Herman to reach, and then Frizzell with the infield single to put 2 ducks on the pond for Branson Lindquist. Just outside, and count is now in Lindquist's favor. Lindquist, a smaller role early in the season, but has earned his time playing. 318 hitter, 938 OPS. Best offensive stats out of the pure catchers on the team. It's a ground ball in the right field for the base hit. Blake Herman comes around to score. Tarp Skunks lead 2-0. They've scored a run in each inning of this game. CJ Hurley, a rough go early. Did not intend to rhyme, but somehow I do all the time. And nonetheless, Tarp Skunks up by 2.
Yeah, that ball there just a little bit out of reach there on Connor Kiefer, and like you said, Andrew, Tarp Skunks got another score across. So looking for these Americans to keep the errors down and keep the mistakes down here if they want to stay in this game.
Definitely, and Brady McGuire back up after the leadoff triple. The play that Grant Moore got injured on to begin this game. But now it's Frizzell on second, Lindquist on first after back-to-back singles and a down-the-pike low-edge strike to Brady McGuire. Hurley going to get out of this inning. Has wanted that second out for a while. It's 3 consecutive base runners let on. That second run of the day not charged as earned to Hurley as Herman reached on the error. One's across the board again. Feeling like Groundhog Day for CJ, and it's inside to make it 2-1. CJ Hurley just looking to break out of this cycle. Close counts, runners led on. He's already allowed 4 hits to the Skunks in 2 innings. That is down and in. McGuire 1 ball away from the walk to load up these bases for Nolan Smith. And Smith walked his first time up. CJ Hurley would have nowhere to put Nolan. He cannot recover here. It's a foul ball to fill up the count. McGuire taking a hack. Knew to expect a strike there, especially given Hurley's history on these 3-1 counts. These Jamestown Tarp Skunks have been carefully watching the Americans over the last week. We've seen Tarp Skunks fans, Tarp Skunks staff on the live stream. Got full scouting reports. High chopper again. Picked up by Hurley this time. Throw to first in time for out number 2. Runners advance, though. It's second and third for the Skunks again after they had this position in the base paths in the very first inning with 2 down.
Yeah, Hurley there got the ball as he was looking to throw to second there. Didn't feel like he could get there in time, so he goes over to first, makes a good play, and gets the second out here.
So Hurley takes care of it himself. Nolan Smith up next. An outside ball to Nolan. And that out helping CJ out, but a walk here would load the bases. Nolan Smith has walked 4 times in the last couple games. And there's a grounder right to Kiefer at second. Throw to first in time for out number 3. Almost identical in the first 2 innings for Jamestown. Had runners on second and third after an early run scored in the inning, and then grounded out to second to end it. My goodness, the symmetry is crazy. We'll send it to the bottom of the second after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Hey fans, this season get yourself the latest Americans gear. Hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions.
And we bring you back for the bottom of the second inning. Middle of the Americans order due up now. Graydon Miller, Tommy Mathey, and Nick Pasco and Harris sent down the top three in 1-2-3 fashion, starting with a strikeout of Liam Schott, who's filling in for Grant Moore.
Yeah, this time around though, Andrew, we got a little bit of a meteor middle batting order here for the Americans. Graydon Miller is definitely a capable hitter with a .333 batting average, so this would be a great start and a revamp here for the Americans if Graydon Miller can get on base here.
Yeah, Graydon Miller, a 3-for-4 night a few nights ago. Looking to get back to that level of production after a slow couple of days in the Jamestown series. Strike one on the outside corner to Graydon. Just outside to make it 1-1. Miller with that trio of singles against Batavia. 2-1 on the count here. Season-long stats, he's batting .333 with a .799 OPS. That one a close shave on the over adjustment from Cohen Harris. Count at 3-1. Americans just one run over the first two games of this series, looking to get their offense going even without Grant Moore. Big cut and miss there to fill up the count. Graydon Miller, season-long first baseman for the Americans. This is his second year with the team. Check swing, but it's just outside as Miller pulls it back in time for ball 4.
Yeah, though, Graydon Miller doesn't get the hit, but he gets a walk there, so he's getting a free bag to first base, so maybe the Americans get something started here.
And here's the hitter that has been pretty much immune to the Americans' cold spell over the last few games. Tommy Mathey on a 5-game hit streak. The only hitter that has on a consistent basis been able to figure out these Tarp Skunks pitchers. And as the left-hander figuring it out against lefties, very impressive, but Graydon Miller has a stolen base. That's a rare sight.
Yeah, Graydon Miller, a very tall man, about 6'6", I'd say, and yeah, he's not known for his speed, but he shows it off right there with his long getaway sticks and steals second.
Graydon Miller has been out on the throw on 2 separate occasions after a single. Now has a steal. Two and 0. Mathey in center field. Now has a runner in scoring position. See if he can hit it to dead center as well. Outside ball 3 instead. Mathey looking to expand on his hit streak and advance Graydon Miller, possibly even score him. .30 pitch. Outside, it's a 4-pitch walk. Consecutive walks.
What?
Hang on a second. There was a missed strike at some point.
Yeah. No.
Just outside. There's ball 4.
Yeah, it seems like we're all a little confused up here, Andrew. Could have sworn the count was 3-0 and wonder why Tommy Mathey wasn't taken first, but he gets there anyways. As Nick Pass comes up here to hit.
Nick passed a .211 hitter, 686 OPS. That's way outside for ball 1. Cohen Harris struggling with his control of the zone in this inning.
Yeah, Lindquist there too. Really had to reach out for that ball behind the plate, make sure no pass ball allowed, and practically was doing the splits out there.
Would have been a wild pitch had that gone any more outside to advance both runners. That one, an over adjustment on the opposite corner. It's 2-0. Just 2 strikes over the first 12 pitches this inning by Harris. Miller with a lead at second. Another low ball. This gets away from Lindquist, but runners playing it safe as Lindquist was chasing it down.
Yeah, it sure looked like Grayson Miller and was thinking about taking third, but rather be safe than sorry. Don't want to get the first out here.
Americans taking advantage of the fact that there's still nobody out and 2 runners on base. Go ahead run at the plate in the form of Past. And he gets hit on the elbow. Nick Past has taken a beating all season long, and it continues today. My goodness, 3 consecutive free bases allowed by Cohen Harris. It's the 14th time that Nick Past has taken a beanball.
Yeah, right there. I mean, would have been ball 4 regardless, but gets beamed there, so he really pays the price on that one. But now the bases are juiced here for Carmen Panaro.
Carmen Panaro, a big hitter. 235 hitter, 822 OPS. He had a double right down that first base line against the Muck Dogs. One of the nicest pieces of hitting I've seen from him all season in that game.
Yeah, he's a very solidified hitter here, and not only can he do that, but he can also pitch. So, I mean, what can Carmen Panaro not do?
Carmen Panaro expected to stick to hitting in this game. Americans have been short on outfielders for a good bit now. Evan Core leaving the team. Jarek Gismondi recovering from an injury to his ankle. Expected to return Sunday or sometime next week. Ooh. Carmen Panaro, a drive into deep right field. It's going back, and that ball is caught on the basket catch by Justin Bremner, but it's an easy sac fly. Carmen Panaro hit that one all the way to the warning track, but not quite out of the park.
Yeah, that ball looked like it had some eyes on it. It looked like it was going right for that wall, but just unfortunately comes just up a little short. But it's a productive at-bat there from Carm as a run comes in, so the Americans are definitely still in this game here.
Americans cut the lead to 1, and they advance Tommy Mathey to third base, so they have runners on the corners with just 1 down.
And here comes Logan Stickler, who's been robbed of 2 home runs. And
this would be a great moment for one, especially with Cohen Harris giving up that meatball the pitch before. Down the pike for a strike, though. Stickler not biting. I'd argue the way that Cohen Harris has been pitching in this inning, Logan Stickler should be aggressive with his bat, especially looking for that first home run. There's a high chopper foul.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Andrew. If Cohen Harris is the way he's been pitching, either the ball's way outside or if he's trying to get into the zone, it's going to be a sort of a slower pitch and kind of like a meatball, like you said, Andrew. So if a ball does get in the zone here, I'd expect Stickler to swing for the fences.
I mean, obviously don't swing at bad pitches, but if you have one to hit, instead of wild pitch, Tommy Mathey trotting home, doesn't even have to run. A wild pitch passed. Takes second, and Mathey scores. It's tied at 2. How the tables have turned in just a couple of at-bats.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, the Americans still have no hits, but they got 2 runs, and they don't ask how, they ask how many, so.
1-2 pitch, and it's inside. Cohen Harris has been all over the place in this inning. Goes down as a steal for Past and an advance on the wild pitch for Tommy Mathey. Counts at 2-2. And that's a high chopper to third base. The throw to first in time but hanging around on second base, Nick Pass, still in scoring position with 2 down.
Yeah, they thought Nick Pass might try for third there, but Logan Stickler unfortunately gets out at first, and now here comes my favorite player, and Alan Ramos.
Alan Ramos, the shortstop, in the 9-hole for the second straight day. The main difference is there's 10 batters in this lineup, so not serving as the second leadoff like yesterday. Big cut and miss for strike 1. But the Americans, with the 2 runs in this inning, have officially scored the most runs in this entire series in Game 3. And that's up the middle on the line. Shot caught by Brady McGuire in the air for out number 3. Doesn't even bounce before he gets to it. That does it for the second inning. It's tied at 2 as we head to the top of the third. The Americans had already exceeded their series-long run total in just this game alone. We'll send it to the third inning after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you to the top of the third inning. And this third inning is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, the official pizzeria of the Americans, and McDonald's. If the Americans score one more run in this game, it's free McCafe frappes for everyone in the stands. And it's a packed crowd tonight, so plenty of frappes to go around.
Yeah, free shirts, free frappes. What more could you ask for, Andrew?
T-shirt giveaway night here at the ballpark. And the stadium is packed. Ben Slanker up for the second time today. Shows bunt, pulls it back in time. It's ball 1.
It's kind of a shock there, Andrew, with a batting average like Slanker's. You would think he'd hit the ball, not bunt it.
Slanker with an RBI single so far today. 2-hit game yesterday as well. Another bunt shown, and that time it's strike 1. Slanker, the 13th batter up for the Skunks today. Skunks had exactly 6 batters in each of their first 2 innings. 2-1 to Ben here. If that pattern continues, this inning will end with Blake Herman up to bat. That's just outside. 3-1 early for CJ Hurley.
It's a good one, Andrew.
But CJ Hurley, not as good for him. He's got to recover. Pop up. Foul territory. Goes out of play. That fills it up. There's the recovery for CJ.
Yeah, he gets a nice fall off there to keep him in this, and I got a payoff pitch right here from him.
Yes. Swing and a miss. CJ Hurley. It took 3 innings, but he has his first strikeout.
And I mean, it's against no slouch either, too, Andrew. Slanker with a .577 batting average, and he's a great hitter all around, and Hurley gets that strikeout against him.
23rd strikeout of the year for CJ Hurley. And to strike out a hitter like Ben Slanker, you're right, Avery. No slouch at the plate. That's an impressive feat for CJ Hurley. Justin Bremner up next. Outside ball 1 to him.
Yeah, although this game hasn't gone the best for Hurley. It hasn't gone the worst, but if I'm going back to that dugout, I'm winning the mental game here against Slankert.
1-0 pitch is a breaking ball. Finds the strike zone as it drops back in for strike one. Puts ones across the board again. C.J. Hurley has had plenty of situations like this. Throws another breaking ball. That pitch is working to find the outside part of the plate. Can C.J. Hurley get his second strikeout in a row here? I mean, C.J. Hurley has a nice fastball, but it's the breaking ball working best for him here. That's lined into center field. Mathey chasing it down, makes the grab for out number 2. So no strikeout there, but Mathey making a nice catch to retire Justin Bremner.
Yeah,
Bremner, a lot of flyouts in this series overall.
Yeah, Mathey there, after moving over to center, reads that play just right, catches the ball, and makes easy play. He seems to adjust very well here to center field.
And Yankee Doodle Dan set to give out some Sammy's Pizza after the middle of this inning approaches. And it's 1-0 to Nathan Borchardt. Borchardt grounded out to second his first time up. Takes one low, it's 2-0. I don't know how this keeps rolling off my tongue tonight, but here we are. 2 down, 2 balls on the count. And now a third in a row. Low outside corner. Nick passed. Has to move his glove down for it. There's a strike on the outside corner. Hurley with just a micro adjustment to get it back into the zone, and it works perfectly. Here's the 3-1. And that's just outside. Ball 4. Borchardt is the first runner on base in this third inning. Brady Marshall up next.
Yeah,
Tarp Skunks looking to retake the lead.
Would have been good for Hurley there to get out of the inning with no more further damage from the other first two, and we get a run around for the Tarp Skunks, so let's see how he responds here.
Brady Marshall grounded out his first time up as well, also to Connor Kiefer at second base. But Borchardt, who grounded out the first time, is on base. Foul ball for strike one early. Hurley, the sole southpaw for the Americans in their starting rotation. The only other southpaw in their pitching staff as a whole, outside of the two-way player Carpanaro, is Joe Chaya. 1-1 to Brady. Marshall, one of 2 Bradys in the middle infield for Jamestown this week, alongside Brady McGuire, the second baseman. Last time these teams faced off, they batted back-to-back in the order, but it's a fly ball, foul territory into the batting cage area down the first base side. Here comes the stampede for the foul balls. As we remind fans, every single game, foul balls can be exchanged for candy here at the barber shop, and these kids know that by now. Hurley looking for his final strike and final out of the inning. It's just outside. This time it's 2s across the board as opposed to 1s. Also 2s on the scoreboard. All tied up. Hurley, the breaking ball, stays a little high this time around. Count's filled up with 2 outs. Borchardt on first. High stakes for CJ, possibly the highest he's seen in this game. Score is now tied. He's got a couple runs of run support. That's lined into right center field, and Kiefer backs up to make the grab. Connor Kiefer, another nice catch. We send it to the bottom of the third. Yankee Doodle Dan set to give out some Sammy's Pizza while we head to break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We're back early for the bottom of the third inning. We'll give you a look at the PGCBL West Division at large. All 8 teams in action tonight in some crucial games. The Batavia Muck Dogs travel to Elmira. They're tied at 3 in the bottom of the third. Red Wings and Pilots are all tied up in the top of the 4th inning. And the Niagara Ironbacks lead the Doubledays 3-2. Auburn Doubledays need that win in Niagara, Canada. They're fighting for that 4 seed in the playoffs. If they lose there, their whole season could be in jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm sure Auburn went into this game thinking they need to win, but it's not easy to play against any team in this league. But with the Ironbacks already out of the playoff spots, and it's definitely going to be a comeback game here for Auburn if they want to win this and stay in this playoff race.
Ironbacks really have nothing to lose at this point, so I'd imagine taking some more risks. And seems to be paying off for them. Around 500 since they were eliminated. Kiefer lines it almost into the outfield, but the leaping catch by Brady Marshall for out number 1. Kiefer robbed of what likely would have been a single. Liam shot up for the second time.
Yeah, Kiefer just got a nice piece of that ball and a nice leaping catch there by Marshall. So I'm back up to Liam Shout.
Shot struck out in 3 pitches his first time up. This time it's a pop-up into the shallow outfield. Marshall under it again makes the grab for out number 2. Brady Marshall, the standout for the Jamestown defense in the early going here in this bottom of the third. Chris Gazaldo up next.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, Andrew. If Gazaldo gets a hit here, it might be in for a good game for these Americans.
Americans 13-6 when Gazaldo has a hit, 5-6 when he doesn't. In there for a low inside corner strike to Chris. Americans just had 4 hits last night, and all 4 of them were by players from Panola College. Chris Gazaldo had a pair, Tommy Mathey had a pair. Another strike on that low inside corner. Cohen Harris finding his spot in this strike zone after struggling with command in the second inning. Can he end the inning right here with his second K of the day? No, there's another outside ball. Harris still a little erratic in his command here in this third inning.
Yeah, it seems like he can pitch right next to the elbow of Gazaldo, but the next pitch he's throwing 2 batter's boxes over.
There's a grounder again to McGuire at second. Chris Gazaldo reaches first as McGuire loses the baseball. Gazaldo reaches on an error. And the Americans, amazingly, have had 4 base runners on in this game. But 2 have been on walks, 1 on a hit by pitch, and 1 on an error. The Americans have as many base runners as the Tarp Skunks have had hits in this game. And that explains the tied score despite Jamestown's advantage in the hit column. Gavin Boyle, the DH, grounded out the first time up. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful on Chris Gazaldo. Just reached on the error. Gavin Boyle looking to knock him in. Boyle, 17 RBIs on the year, also 3 homers. That's 2 down here. It's fouled off. Gavin Boyle down 0-1 early. Grounded out to second his first time up. Headed to Southern Indiana in the fall after a year at SUNY Niagara. Started his collegiate baseball career at VCU. But he's local to the area, came back home, has played for the Americans for 2 summers now, with a season at SUNY Niagara sandwiched in between. Count is even at 1-1. Gazaldo has a lead towards second. Harris has had eagle eyes on him this entire at bat. The 1-1 outside again. Count turns in Boyle's favor after an early strike. Boyle going to get on base for the first time today. Advance or score Gazaldo. Boyle has 10 extra base hits on the season. Extra bases likely scores, Chris. count now at 3-1. Boyle takes the pitch. Gazaldo takes off. He pops it up into foul territory, and it's going to go out of play into the third base stands to fill things up. Full count, 2 outs. That's been the situation in both the top and bottom of this inning. Hurley got out of it. Can Cohen Harris do the same? Or will Gavin Boyle do some damage in this bottom of the third inning? Boyle, bat hovering over his shoulder, swing and a miss on the outside pitch. Gavin Boyle goes chasing and goes down packing to end this inning. We'll send it to the top of the fourth after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the top of the fourth inning. Andrew Roberts here again with Avery Vogt. Fourth inning brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. That's a pop-up into the right field side, and Miller comes down with it for the catch. Eric Weeks retired to start out this inning. He led off the second inning with an out, now leading off the fourth inning with an out. Blake Herman to follow him up. Back-to-back Canisius hitters. Herman at third base. All 3 games of this series. Reached on the error his first time up. Americans and Skunks at 1 error apiece in this game. Both teams scoring off of free bags. Herman after the error. The Americans scoring some runs after walks and hit by pitches. So both of the Jamestown runs were charged as earned to Cohen Harris. One's across the board here. That pitch outside to Herman to put the count in his favor. Herman, a strong first game against these Americans. Struggled last night in there on the outside edge to even up this count at 2s. What do you think Hurley goes with here, Avery?
Could say his breaking ball. Oh,
Well,
never
it
mind.
doesn't matter. It's fouled off. That washes out the pitch.
Yeah, I feel like Hurley here can try to, although he's at the disadvantage with the righty and lefty, I feel like if he gets a breaking ball inside, he might fool him here.
Line drive over the head of Kiefer for the base hit. Connor Kiefer tries to cut it off again, but cannot this time. Blake Herman reaching for the second time today. Tarp Skunks have 5 hits.
Yeah, Kiefer there try to really get up and up in the air to grab that ball. Unfortunately, ball just a foot higher than he jumped there, and Jamestown gets their first hit of the inning and runner on first here.
Nico Frizzell is up next for the Skunks. Singled his first time up. There's the grounder to Ramos. Out at second. The throw to first is not in time. Frizzell showing off his speed and preventing the double play, but the out at second as Nico Frizzell takes Herman's place. Frizzell has reached first each of his first 2 times up. Only one of those on a hit, though.
Yeah, Ramos there made a nice play. gets it to Kiefer there at second, but unfortunately that ball just coming right about the time, and Ty goes the runner there. So still run on here first for the Tarp Skunks.
Branston Lindquist up next takes an up and away ball to start things off. Hurley throws one down and in this time, an over adjustment to make the count 2-0. Exact opposite corner of that first pitch. Seen a lot of that tonight from both pitchers. Here's the 2-0, and it's another pop-up on the first base side. Goes way out of play. Upper stands. And kids battling for it again. Baseball buddies came onto the field with the Americans players tonight. There's some Seagulls out in center field now, too. Fly ball into right field foul territory. Pinaro chasing it down. It's out of his reach. But, I mean, those Seagulls just walking around in center, acting like they're a part of the game.
I was going to say, they got some nerve going on the field right there. Just got one sitting right in left center field there. Looking like he might make a play out there if the ball gets hit right to him.
I mean, I'd argue if you hit the Seagull, it should be an out. Because the Seagull, I mean, doesn't have the arms to catch it, but probably would catch it if it was right to it.
Maybe get it right into his beak, maybe.
Eat the baseball. I mean, that would be something.
Then what do you do?
I mean, is this a seagull or is it a pelican? I don't know if there's room for the baseball in the seagull's mouth, but that's in there for strike 3 on the full count. C.J. Hurley gets out of the inning with his second strikeout of the day. We'll send it to the bottom of the 4th after the break. See if the Seagull's still on the field when we're back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Hey fans, you can connect with the Americans like never before with our exclusive content on our featured pages. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
Those ats are on your screen. You can follow right now. And a big shout out, per usual, to our social media managers, Frankie Morris and Leah Fraun, for keeping those up and running. But Cohen Harris continues to pitch. Graydon Miller, his first customer in this 4th inning. And similar to the Tarp Skunks, the same leadoff hitter in the 2nd and 4th innings for the Americans.
Yeah, maybe they'll keep it going in the 6th inning, too, there, Andrew.
Yeah, Graydon walked his first time up. Big cut and miss there, though. Strike 1 on this count. Some early action in the pen for Jamestown, but it's 0-2 on Graydon right now. Nick Iannello ready to pitch. Iannello, one of the best Jamestown pitchers, a 2.57 ERA. Breaking ball stays outside and keeps Miller alive.
Yeah, Lindquist there really tried to frame that ball. Could have fooled me, but the umpire says no strike there, so Grady Miller stays alive here.
I feel like bringing Iannello in would really signal for Jamestown there. Full speed ahead on going for this sweep. Count is even on Miller. And there's a high chopper. Harris fields it himself. The shovel to first for out number 1. Miller retired for the first time today. Tommy Mathey up next.
Now batting for Niagara Falls, center fielder number 2, Tommy Mathey.
Mathey walked his first time up. Looking to expand, though, on his 5-game hit streak. There's another seagull flying overhead. No more seagull on the fields, but over the fields, there's plenty of that. Oh, there's even more seagulls out in right field that we just noticed up here. And there's a liner foul down the third base line to put ones across the board.
It seems like the Seagulls got the whole family out there watching the game.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't enjoy this sunny evening? Great night for baseball. Mathey fouls another one off to make it 1-2. And a tie ball game on top of it. Doesn't get better than this as another Seagull prepares for landing on the field.
I think that's their cousin there.
Yeah, probably. I stand by my statement. If you hit a Seagull, probably should be an out. Maybe only for Jamestown because they're the road team here. But 2's on the count. Two pitch upstairs and away to fill things up. Tommy Mathey looking to walk for the second time today. Cohen Harris has struggled with his command, and the Skunks seem to have a short leash on him here. High pop-up down the third base foul side, and it is just out of play as the third baseman Herman approached the Americans' dugout to try and catch it. Mathey, left-handed hitter, looking to take advantage of the opposite-handed matchup. Takes a ball outside. He walks for the second consecutive at bat.
Yeah, it was a nice battle there by Mathey. Get some fouls in there early, but get some balls too as well, and stays alive and walks to first. So nice start here for the Americans.
Now Nick Pass up next. PGCBL pitcher's favorite punching bag. He's taken 14 shots to the body by baseballs and lines that into right field. Nice. It goes into the corner for the base hit and more. Pass headed towards second. He's going to have the double here. Mathey waved around to score, but he will not get there in time. Tagged out on the throw, but it's a double for Nick Pass.
Yeah, nice hit there by Nick Pass. Gets the first hit of the day for the Americans, but unfortunately, Tom Mathey gets thrown out at home.
So now 2 down with a runner in scoring position. Carmen Panaro with the chance to drive in past. And, I mean, if he can hit another one as deep as he did before with maybe a little bit more speed on it, I think that would knock in Nick Pass, maybe give Panaro some extra bases. First pitch to Carm is outside for ball 1. Panaro. The sac fly is first time up. 235 hitter has the 1-0 count. That finds the outside edge to even things up on Carmen. Panaro with the even count and pass to lead at second base, but a big cut and miss on the outside pitch. Carmen Panaro goes chasing there.
It seemed like he kind of extended his arms there, try to reach out and at least make some contact with that ball there, but no dice there.
Got word today that Carmen's grandma, an avid listener of the broadcast. We thank the Panaro family for tuning in to the Americans Baseball Network. 1-2 pitch right here is up and away to even things up. 2's across the board. Panaro staying alive with Past on second base. The Americans the chance to take the lead in this bottom of the fourth. Cohen Harris likely in his final inning of work, given his usual timeline and starts. It's a low ball 3. Count is all filled up. Cohen Harris can exit the day with a tie game, but Carmen Panaro looking to prevent that. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's grounded to the second baseman McGuire. Throw to first in time for out number 3, so no strikeout. But the Tarp Skunks get their third out nonetheless. This game's still tied, and Nick Pass stranded on second base. So we send it to the top of the 5th after the break.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Fifth inning is brought to you on the Americans Baseball Network by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. And it's a new pitcher for the Americans after 4 innings of C.J. Hurley. I'll get your word. Austin Barton taking over for C.J. Hurley. Barton 1-2 with a 9.24 ERA and 7 strikeouts on the year. We'll also give you another look around the PGCBL as this 5th inning gets underway at the barbershop. Muckdogs and Pioneers still knotted at 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Pilots, the early lead on Geneva, 3-0 in the top of the 5th. And the Niagara Ironbacks have continued to pull ahead against Auburn. They lead 5-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning in Canada. The Double A's right on the Americans' tail. They've had Niagara Falls' number all season long. That's another team that has the tiebreaker over the Americans. So the Americans rooting for the Ironbacks in that one. But it's strike 1 on the breaking ball from Barton. Brady McGuire up for the 3rd time today. He's tripled and grounded out. And so far, Austin Barton looks to have that breaking ball working.
Yeah, it seems like he came out of here and just wanted to attack, and he's been getting that done so far.
This time it's a little too far outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the number of Seagulls out in the field dwindling, but still a few hanging around. Ooh! In there for strike 3 on the low edge. Austin Barton starts his day off on a high note. Strikeout looking. Brady McGuire sent down.
Yeah, Austin Barton here seems to be just absolutely wild out of this bullpen and just throwing absolute heaters here at the Tarp Skunks. Not afraid to attack him here. I like that approach out of him.
Nolan Smith, the next customer, and this is the top of the order, so no joke out here. Barton handling them with confidence. Smith 0 for 1 with a walk. Right now has 2 balls in this count. And Barton certainly brings the speed on his pitches, Has some good swing and miss stuff, but at times struggles with walks, and right here, a 3-ball count. So now 3-0 early to Nolan Smith. 4-pitch walk. That's inside. Nolan Smith, the walk master, takes first base. Nolan Smith on the season is up to 26 walks. That leads the Tarp Skunks. Second is a tie between the Bradys, Marshall and McGuire, with 22 apiece. Ben Slanker has a runner on as he's up to bat at strike one down the pike to him. Austin Barton even attacking Ben Slanker, who's arguably the biggest bat that's come to Sal Magley this summer. Hit an absolute moonshot and went foul nonetheless, but the last time he was here, hit one that everybody lost track of down the first base foul side. One's across the board. Slanker, a big cut and miss. There was his home run swing, but Barton, a nice job fooling him.
Yeah, Slanker there smart out of his shoes there, and Barton there, like you said, Andrew, just got him confused there, and nice strike there for him.
That was in the right place for Slanker, and that's likely a home run, but instead he chases the low pitch. Here's the 1-2. It's inside at his stomach. Close shave to even up the count. And I mean, we talk a lot about 3 outcomes hitters. So far, Austin Barton, gonna allow like a 3 outcomes pitcher here.
Yes!
Finds the strike zone on the outside corner. And there you have it. Austin Barton to start his day. Strikeout, walk, strikeout.
Especially, too, against Ben Slanker, like you've been saying, Andrew. He's a great hitter, probably the best bat to come here at Sal Magley, and Barton strikes him down like it's nothing.
Slanker's been struck out twice tonight. Punched out looking right there, swinging a miss. Last time up against C.J. Hurley. Justin Bremner, the final hope in this inning, and he's flown out twice in this game. Breaking ball drops back in for strike one. Austin Barton having an inning so far. I mean, yes, the walk of Nolan Smith, but Smith so patient at the plate. Wild pitch right there. Rather will be ruled a pass ball. Second base taken for Nolan. So Nick passed with a pass ball. And now a runner in scoring position for Jamestown. Austin Barton with the count even. Swing and a miss. A chase on the outside pitch. Austin Barton finds himself 1 strike away from his 3rd strikeout of the day. And this is only his first inning of work. The only thing breaking up those strikeouts thus far was the walk by Nolan Smith. Here's the 1-2.
Yes!
In there on the outside edge. 3 strikeouts all came looking for Austin Barton in this inning. We'll send it to the bottom of the inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Hey fans, you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Package includes 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, a customized Wegmans cake, an autographed Americans baseball, and special recognition at the game, starting at just $175. Sign up online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com.
This birthday package brought to you by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. Wegmans, also the proud sponsor of the Kids Run here at the barbershop. We will keep it here after this 5th inning per usual to see if Yankee Doodle Dan can keep his undefeated record. He's looking to stretch that the entire season, Avery, and not many games left for these kids to beat him.
Yeah, I mean, Yankee Doodle Dan's just got a slight advantage every time he's running it, and, I mean, he's got some speed on him, so we'll see if his undefeated record's in jeopardy today's game.
Yeah, big advantage from his legs. But Nick Iannello, the new pitcher for Jamestown, after 4 innings of Cohen Harris, Jamestown makes the swap. Iannello 6-0 with a 2.57 ERA and 19 strikeouts. Spoke to Jamestown's public address announcer yesterday. So the Skunks really bringing out the big guns for these Americans in a series that they knew they needed to win. They have rose to the occasion, but the Americans have this game tied with Logan Stickler up to bat, and Stickler has taken 2 consecutive balls inside from Iannello early. Iannello, a product of SUNY Brockport. 2.41 ERA there as well. Big part of the nationally ranked Brockport baseball team. Stickler sends that into right center field. Fly ball caught by Justin Bremner from right for out number 1. Some nice contact by Stickler, but a little short of where he wants it. He just looking to hit a no-doubter at this point because both of his home runs were overturned on controversial calls.
Yeah, I still think that he should have 2 home runs on his stat card, but umpires want to disagree.
Alan Ramos takes the ball inside. Ramos lined out his first time up. Connor Kiefer's on deck, also lined out his first time up. Got robbed on a leaping catch by Brady Marshall. It's 1-1 to Ramos to put ones across the board. Ramos, originally committed to Wagner, now looking to choose his school headed into his freshman year of college after decommitting from Wagner, but it's 1-2. A nice strike from Nick Iannello. 1 strike away from retiring Ramos and bringing up Kiefer. Instead, a grounder to Marshall. Ramos trying to beat out the throw, but will not get there in time. And, I mean, so many ground outs to the second baseman today. That's the first ground out the entire day to the shortstop Marshall. Kiefer hit one to Marshall, but it was in the air. Believe it or not, even though this game is tied, the Americans' first hit of the day was Nick Pass's double back in the 4th inning.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a rough day here at the plate for the Americans, but they've got 2 runs across regardless, so.
Pop up for Kiefer. Foul territory, out of play down the third base side for strike 1. Kiefer hits a lot of pop-ups, some of them catchable, others not so much. But, I mean, Brady McGuire, we're talking about Brian Fry of the Muck Dogs as a magnet on his defense. I think McGuire, the magnet, has even more of a ring to it. He's taken in so many outs today. And it's strike 2 to Kiefer here. I mean, Kiefer, same deal on the other side of things. Maybe not to the same extent. Brady McGuire has turned 3 groundouts today, and there's a grounder this time to the third baseman, Herman. That's out number 3. We will send it to the top of the 6th. This game still tied at 2. It's going to be a close one as the Americans look to avoid the sweep. But first, before we send it to the 6th inning, the Wegmans Kids Run coming up. Yankee Doodle Dan is off to an early start here. He got a running start. I don't know if that's fair. This is going to be a blowout. and runs over Apollo on the way to the finish line. Now everyone trampling Apollo. What is this? Gotta have some respect for your favorite bird. Apollo finally getting up. These kids stampeding over their own mascot. That is questionable behavior out there, but. And their free t-shirts. Sammy's Pizza t-shirt giveaway tonight. Well, the 6th inning, in addition to Sammy's, is brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robins, by Laborers Local 91, and by Wegmans. Jamestown looking to retake the lead. They had a 2-0 lead early. Austin Barton, the first reliever for the Americans, in his 2nd inning of work after a 3-strikeout first inning of work for himself. CJ Hurley finished his day with 4 innings pitched. 5 hits allowed, 2 runs, just 1 of them earned, and 2 walks, as well as 2 strikeouts. Nathan Borchardt leads things off for Jamestown in the 6th inning, and that breaks the streak of Eric Weeks' leadoff opportunities. Borchardt, Marshall, and Weeks due up in this inning, though. Up and away for ball 1. Andrew Roberts here to call all the action. Avery Vogt will be back with us momentarily. It's 2-0. And here's Avery. Nathan Borchardt has grounded out and walked today. Takes the strike on the low edge to make it 2-1. Skunks out hitting the Americans 5-1 in this game. But the score is tied. A low ball 3 to put the count in the favor of Nathan Borchardt. Borchardt walks here would continue the trend of only strikeouts and walks thus far for Barton. Instead, it's a line shot foul to make it 3-2. So hard to make contact in fair territory when Austin Barton is at his best. Possibly, partially due to the approach from Jamestown here, looking to get more runs on the board. That is a nice floater foul. Had some great carry on it, but just a little late on the contact. Count all filled up on Borchardt. Barton. Payoff pitch. Fouled off. Ooh. That is going to deflect right into the stands behind home plate. And the Americans, their t-shirts come in any size. So got some young kids wearing them like dresses out here tonight.
Yes.
But that's in there on the inside corner for strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Austin Barton. Every single one of them has come looking. What do you think that takes from Austin Barton?
That just takes some guts, honestly, Andrew, because you got to get those pitches in there. They're going to nick the zone, but get no swing out of the batters, and he's got 4 strikeouts, like you said, and they're all looking. So clearly he's got some movement here or something on his pitches that are fooling these batters.
Some really nice break from Austin Barton, but it's ball 1 here to Brady Marshall. And Austin Barton, like many other SUNY Niagara pitchers, a master at painting the corners. 2-0 to Brady Marshall. I'd argue a lot of these SUNY Niagara guys almost aspire to pitch like Matt Barr, who was the ace of the staff, recently drafted out of SUNY Niagara in the 5th round. Well, he didn't play for the American. With the team, was here opening night. Rostered American to be drafted into MLB. But it's 3-1 for Brady Marshall here. Ground out and a line out so far for Brady. Both of them to Connor Kiefer. Kiefer with some magnetic ability from Marshall's knocks, but it's a foul ball to fill up this count again. Barton looking for his 5th strikeout and 5th batter retired. It's another foul ball. Marshall doing his best to stay alive in this at-bat with 1 down. Barton ready for the payoff pitch. Here it is. It's a breaking ball upstairs. Marshall takes a walk.
Yeah, it looked like Barton there was trying to get the high and inside corner there to get the strikeout, but unfortunately the ball's just a little bit high for the umpire's liking. So
Austin Barton so far today a 2-outcome pitcher. Strikeout or walk. And all the strikeouts have come looking as well. So really just trying to paint those corners. Very few of his balls have been hittable. It's a matter of whether they're being called balls or strikes that's impacting Barton's day. Take off for second base from Marshall. He gets the steal. The throw gets away. But Marshall holds up there. Eric Weeks up next for the Skunks. It's strike 1 to Eric despite the stolen base. Austin Barton finding ways to get strikes on those outer corners of the zone. Wider strike zone tonight than last night. Up on the outside corner for strike 2. Austin Barton just barely catches the corner there. 1 strike away from his 5th batter retired of this game. Checks back on Marshall. Now delivers. It's outside and low to put the first ball on this count. Weeks 0 for 2. Ground out and a pop out. Graydon Miller, part of both of his outs. And there's a liner into the left field side for the base hit. Runners on first and third now. Eric Weeks has his first hit of the day. Weeks joins Brady McGuire, Ben Slanker, Blake Herman, Nico Frizzell, and Branston Lindquist as the Tarp Skunks with hits in this game.
yeah, Eric Weeks there just seemed to find the gap between Ramos and Gazaldo and just gets a weak contact into the outfield, and now I got runners on the corner here.
Only 1 extra base hit apiece for these teams. Brady McGuire with a triple, Nick Pass with a double, and it's a foul tip for strike 1 on Blake Herman. Herman 1 for 2, but has reached twice. Reached on an error the first time around, then a single. Marshall on third base, looking to come home with 1 down. Weeks now on first base. Low and away to even up this count. 1s across the board for Austin Barton. Runner on first as well. Another low pitch for a ball and a stolen base. Blake Herman still up to bat. Eric Weeks takes second to join Marshall in scoring position. Consecutive at-bats with a stolen base during them. Marshall took second during Weeks' at-bat, and now Weeks taking second during Herman's at-bat. Some great chemistry between Weeks and Herman, playing at Canisius together, and now here. Liner, deep right field. Benara backs up to make the grab. Goes down as a sac fly. Marshall scores. It's 3-2 Skunks. So Jamestown advances Weeks to third and scores Marshall. Blake Herman retired for out number 2. Nico Frizzell looking to avoid being out number 3. Single and a fielder's choice for Frizzell so far. Has beat out a couple of close ones to first base in this game. Foul right there for strike 1. Jamestown. 3 runs, 6 hits to the Americans. 2 runs, 1 hit. Up and away to even up this count at 1s. Frizzell in center field tonight. Tarp Skunks have experimented with their center field position. Matthew Dumas out there a lot early in the season. He's since left. Ben Slankerson coming in has seen time there. Justin Bremner. And now Nico Frizzell as well. 2-1 on the low ball. Barton. Strikeouts or walks on his first 7 batters. Now some different outcomes over the last couple. 2 balls put in fair territory. First by Weeks, then by Herman. But it's 2s across the board here to Nico Frizzell. Can Barton strike out his 5th batter of the day? And yes, he can! The check swing sends down Frizzell. First strikeout swinging for Austin Barton. This inning is over. We'll send it to the bottom of the 6th after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Fans, an Americans game is a great way to entertain a group for the evening, and we're able to offer fundraisers tailored to your group needs. Nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and more. For all group information, please visit our website at www.niagarafallsamericans.com.
We're back for the bottom of the 6th inning, and plenty of groups here tonight, including Bikers Against Child Abuse, one of the sponsors of the Americans. Liam Schott up to bat to begin this bottom of the 6th against Nick Iannello, who's in his 2nd inning of work. Both starters done after 4 innings. Not all that uncommon late in the season for the PGCBL as starters beginning to wind down for the summer. Pitch counts coming into play, so bullpens very important for both teams. The Americans going to need their bullpen to step up. 1-1 to Liam Schott, who's looking to get on for the first time of the day. Strikeout and a pop-out so far. Jamestown Tarp Skunks have one of the strongest bullpens in this division. Didn't exactly have the starting pitching to begin with, but have found reliable starters as the years progressed, and this team has won 12 of their last 14 games. Shot the 2-1 pitch, a big cut and miss. Count is now even. So the Skunks really looking to come into the playoffs hot. The Americans have cooled off a bit since the beginning of the year. It's a foul ball by Schott to keep the count even. Also keeping Liam alive. Schott, a last-minute addition to this lineup after Grant Moore injured in the very first inning. Inside pitch, the close shave fills things up on Schott. Iannello with some great speed on his pitches, but control is inconsistent. Still worked for the 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. There's a foul tip to keep Schott alive for another pitch here. Liam Schott. When this season began, he was barely playing in games. Now has worked his way into more playing time as players have left. Liam Schott has stuck it out this season. Ooh. And he gets hit on the head.
Ooh, I think went off his bat there, Andrew.
Yeah, his bat got a piece of it. Got him on the head, but no base for Schott. Liam hanging in there This is quickly becoming a very long at bat. Almost 10 pitches. It's low for ball 4. Liam Schott takes a walk. Still no hit on the season, but Schott, a very patient hitter, and it's paid off. Chris Gazaldo, the next batter for the Americans. Gazaldo has reached once in this game. It was on an error. Americans 13-6 when Gazaldo has a hit. He's looking for his first hit of the day here, but it's a breaking ball for strike 1. Gazaldo down 0-1 early and a lead towards second for Liam Schott. Gazaldo, another big cut and miss. 0-2 now. Chris Gazaldo responsible for the walk-off win on Tuesday night. Had a 2-hit game last night. High fly ball into left field, backing up. Eric Weeks makes the grab for out number 2. Or rather out number 1, excuse me. Gavin Boyle up next. 0 for 2 tonight. Looking for his first hit of the week after PGCBL Player of the Week honors a week ago. 10 for 20 stretch over a span of 6 games last week. Now looking for a hit. Pop foul behind the plate, out of play for strike 1. Boyle would be just the second American with a hit if he can get one right here. The only hit for the Americans today was from Nick Past, and it was a stand-up double. And that pickoff attempt gets away from the first baseman Smith. Liam Schott takes second. The ball's still away, and Schott now headed for third. Now the throw coming, but it's not going to get there even close to in time. Liam Schott all the way across the diamond takes advantage of some errant throws. The ball goes wild. And how about that? Liam Schott advancing into scoring position. An error on the pitcher. Nick Iannello throwing that way wild on the pick off, and Liam Schott takes 2 bases from it. Boyle with the count at 0-1 takes one outside. Now one's across the board. Schott looking to come home and tie this game. Boyle represents the go-ahead run. Home run here would make it 4-3 Americans. Can Boyle do it with the count even? Fouled off and right off the pole. How about a nice clank of the metal? The only metal you'll find outside of the bleachers inside this stadium. No metal cleats on the field, but everything else is metal. 1-2 pitch. High chopper, and this is just fair. Gets away from the third baseman, Blake Herman. Now they overturn it. It's foul. Just gets out. Gavin Boyle. Down in the count now after the foul ball. Looking to drive in Schott. Schott with a shot to score. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Schott has to hurry back to third base, slides in, but Gavin Boyle strikes out swinging for the second time in a row. Here's Graydon Miller. Final chance to score Liam from third base. Strike 1 on the breaking ball to Graydon. Backdoor slider gets him right there. Iannello facing Miller, who's walked and grounded out so far today. Low in the dirt for a ball. 1's on the count. Iannello looking to finish this inning cleanly after the leadoff walk by Liam Schott. And the takeoff all the way to third base. It's a low ball 2 on the inside corner. So backdoor slider got the first strike on Graydon, but Miller now ahead in the count on 3 pitches for Iannello. 2 down, shot looking to score. Miller, line shot into deep right field. Backing up to make the grab is Justin Bremner. That ends the inning. And Strand's shot on third base. It's the 4th runner left on for the Americans. We'll send it to the top of the 7th after the break. Skunks lead by 1.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
A defensive substitution as we bring you back for the 7th inning. Ian Huang in for Connor Kiefer at second base. So the Americans switching things up with 3 innings to go in the 7th inning is brought to you by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stauka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. And I mean, we always mention Bikers Against Child Abuse here on the broadcast, proud sponsor of the Americans, but for the first time tonight this season, they're here at the ballpark.
Yeah, it's always a good time here when groups come out, especially one of the sponsors, and definitely a big support group here.
Branston Lindquist takes a ball low and away to even things up. Brought some pretty big bikes in as well.
I was wondering why there was no parking spots in the parking lot there, Andrew.
Yeah, taking up all the space out here. Also a packed crowd in the stadium tonight. Just a great night for baseball here and a close game to bring it up to that level of hype. That check swing pulled back just in time for ball 3. So now a 3-1 count on Branston Lindquist. He's singled and struck out looking in this game. Swing and a miss right there to fill things up on the count. Lindquist set to be followed up by Brady McGuire and Nolan Smith in this inning. And there's another foul ball to keep the final hitter in this Tarp Skunks order alive. Branston Lindquist. Facing Barton. Ready for the payoff pitch. Ground ball to Huang, the new second baseman. Throw to first in time for out number 1. So Ian Huang stepping right in where Connor Kiefer thrived. And a nice first out by Ian.
Yeah, he gets his work cut out for him right away as he gets subbed in, and makes a nice easy play there to get the first out here.
I mean, the Tarp Skunks have been sending it to second base all night long. Top-notch defense there. Kiefer and Wang, both strong seasons at the position. McGuire takes an outside corner strike. Wang and Kiefer have been a little bit of a platoon for this team. Big difference from the majors is don't always know way ahead of games who's going to be pitching for the opposing team, so it's hard to plan those lineups in the same way that you might in the majors, putting lefties against righties, righties against lefties. Siegel now flying in the stands, but it's 2-2. Rather 1-2. To Brady McGuire. Foul ball down the first base line. McGuire's hanging in there with 2 strikes. Barton sends it on the breaking ball. It's a pop-up. Ends up a deeper fly ball into the outfield. Caught by Tommy Mathay for out number 2. Nolan Smith up next. Smith, 2 walks and a ground out tonight. 5 walks over the course of 2 games. He's a walk machine out here. Takes a strike on the outside edge to start things off. Barton's already walked him once. Sun beginning to set here at Sal Magley, and it's a beautiful sunset. Foul ball sent sharply down the third base line, and Barton 1 strike away from completing his 3rd inning of work. Just 1 run allowed across these 3, but the Americans haven't scored since the 2nd inning. Got to give some more run support to their pitchers if they want to win. That's low for a ball.
I feel like Barton there put that ball in a spot that the umpire's been trying to call strikes, but no dice there.
It was a close one. 1-2 pitch flown into left field. Coming in the slide by shot, but he misses it. 2 bases for Nolan Smith. It's a double as Liam Schott misreads that. The slide, but no catch for Liam Schott. Ben Slanker with a runner in scoring position. This is not a situation you want to find yourself in. Austin Barton, however, has struck out Slanker once tonight.
Yeah, and if you're Slankett, I'm sure you got that ring in the back of your mind that he struck you out before, so he's trying to battle back here.
First pitch from Barton. Just outside for a ball. Slanker, a single and a pair of strikeouts tonight. Knocked in a run with the single. Some more t-shirts about to be tossed when this inning ends, but that finds the outside edge of the zone to make it 1-1 on the count. And Apollo following Yankee Doodle Dan up the stands, ready for this t-shirt toss. Barton the 1-1, a breaking ball ends up inside, too far in. Quick appearance of the press box from Yankee Doodle Dan now. Slanker has the count in his favor. Barton checks back on his base runner Smith, now delivers. And it's a pop-up in foul territory. Miller chasing it down on the first base side, but it drops into the stands out of play. Got a little boy in a Josh Allen jersey who looked up at that like, whoa, the baseball's coming right to me.
Yeah, he looked a little dazed there. Didn't realize what the ball was coming. Luckily, it was a couple feet away from him, but he gets that ball. He comes back into the stands all happy.
And if he's hungry, that's going to change in just a moment when he exchanges that baseball. Barton with twos across the board on Ben Slanker. Can he send him packing for the third time tonight? Yes, he can! Drop strike 3, but it's completed at first base. Ben Slanker has struck out 3 times at the mercy of these Americans. My goodness. The Americans have done a number on the Tarp Skunks' best hitter, but now they need the runs to back it up. We'll see if they can get him in the bottom of the 7th.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Hey fans, the Niagara Falls Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in your community. Please visit our website at www.niagarafallsamericans.com to get involved, and as always, go Americans.
Join the sponsor scrolls here on the broadcast. Tommy Mathay up first for the Americans in this bottom of the 7th inning. Will be followed up by Nick Past and Carmen Panaro. These Skunks up by 1 run. Americans looking to make a comeback. Already had a walk-off win. And hang on a second. Ian Huang moving up in the batting order and pinch hitting here. So Huang now in the 5 spot. That's ball 1 to Ian. Possible Mathay was moved down in the order to accommodate this change. It's 1-1 to Ian here. Mathay with the high chopper to McGuire at second to shovel the first in time for out number 1. So Nick Past up next. The Americans shuffling around their batting order in this bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Past, a hit by pitch and a double so far, looking to get on for the 3rd time tonight. That is low, but breaks back into the strike zone on the backdoor slider for strike 1.
Yeah, Past here with the only hit so far for the Americans with that double earlier in the game, so looking to stay hot here.
Iannello sends another breaking ball past way, but this one stays inside. Count is even. Pass takes a strike down the pike. It's 1-2. Nick Past. He's already gotten on twice tonight, but down to his final strike here. A low ball to keep him alive for the time being. Iannello delivers and pass, sends it on the chopper foul. Down the third base side. And it appears, given the batter's in, but that's going to be a ground ball into left field for the base hit. Nick passed on base for the third time today. He's got himself a 2-hit game. When the rest of the Americans lineup has struggled, Nick Pass having himself a night.
Andrew, I got a question. You think Nick Pass back hurts over there, carrying the hits so far with all 2 of the hits today here for the Americans?
I don't think his back hurts, but definitely his elbow after the hit by pitch. Hanging in there for the time being and doing rather well in this game. Carm Panaro with the chance to advance him again. Strike 1 on Carm here. Sack fly when Past was on first base, but a ground out. Stranded Past on second base last time up for Panaro. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful at first. Panaro, the right fielder for the Americans. Big cut and miss for Panaro. It's 0-2. Panaro looking to get on for the first time today. Already has an RBI in this game. But that came on the sacrifice. Pass hanging on at first base. A lead towards second. 0-2 pitch is inside for the ball. Panaro, product of Niagara University alongside Ian Huang, who was the first batter of this inning. Another outside pitch to even things up. Two's on the count. Panaro looking to get on for the first time and gets a piece of that, and it goes all the way into the outfield foul. Just some light contact with the bat sends it all the way out into right.
Yeah, had they timed that a little earlier and hit the ball just a little bit better, probably could have been a deep shot to the wall, maybe gone over, but
yeah, could have been a little cheap shot homer, but it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch outside to fill up this count. Panaro. Count all filled up. A walk here would put 2 runners on for Logan Stickler. Payoff pitch from Iannello. Fouled off again. Right into the fence on those third base stands.
it was a hot shot right toward the fan wearing a Sal Magley jersey.
And the woman who grabbed it, very happy, jumping for joy. Pickoff attempt again towards Past, unsuccessful. Panaro looking to advance Nick. Past has already been stranded once in this game. The Americans have left 4 on base. And Past, it takes off on the full count, but it's another foul ball. Don't want to tire yourself out necessarily, but good to get ahead of the pitch with the count all filled up.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a couple of check over to the runner on first on Nick Pass and him trying to steal the base too. He's got his work cut out for him over there at first base.
Another payoff coming from Iannello. Swing and a miss there. Pass heads for second, and he is safe. Stolen base on strike 3. So, I mean, a silver lining there despite the Panaro strikeout.
Yeah, that throw from Lindquist seemed to be online, but Pass just gets there in time and beats out the throw.
Logan Stickler, the extra hitter, ground out and a fly out so far today. Big opportunity here. He represents the go-ahead run with passed in scoring position. Stickler doubled against Jamestown in his first game against them. Big cut and miss for strike one. Double here would likely score past from second base. Pass retreats after the lead towards third. It's 0-1 to Logan. Stickler, that finds the outside edge. Nick Iannello 1 strike away from wrapping up this inning. The Tarp Skunks lead by 1, looking to complete the sweep on these Americans. And Nick Pass, the only Americans hitter with hits today. Check swing, pulled back just in time on the outside ball. Logan Stickler hanging in there. So Connor Kiefer, I'm hearing, was moved to center field. Getting a try in the outfield. He played outfield for the Skunks. So this is something new for these Americans, but Logan Stickler goes down looking. That'll do it for the 7th inning. We'll send it to the 8th, see if the Americans can hang on here.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the top of the 8th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network. This 8th inning brought to you by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. We'll also give you an update around the PGCBL. As the 8th inning is underway here at the Barbershop, the Muck Dogs lead 4-3 over the Pios in the bottom of the 7th. The Doubledays have retaken the lead over the Ironbacks. They now lead 11-5 in the top of the 7th. And the Pilots still up 3-0 on the Red Wings in the bottom of the 8th there. So Jamestown has Justin Bremner to start things off against Barton in this top of the 8th inning. He'll be followed up by Nathan Borchardt and Brady Marshall. Barton in his 4th inning of work. This is officially his longest outing of this season.
Yeah, G, it might be his longest outing, but he's definitely kept his own on the mound here tonight.
It's a low ball 1 to the batter, Bremner. Bremner 0 for 3 on the day. That bounces in the dirt for ball 2. No damage done with no runners on. Bremner, 2 flyouts and a strikeout looking. That strikeout looking came against Barton and is only at bat against Austin today. That finds the inside corner for the first strike on this count. Barton, a lot of strikeouts today, a total of 6. Another wild ball to make it 3-1 though. 6 strikeouts accompanied by a pair of walks for Austin in this game. There's a ground ball to Ramos at short. Throw to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, Ramos there showing off his quick hands, getting that glove and getting that ball out very fast there, sending a hot shot over there to first base to Grady Miller.
And I've received an update on the defensive arrangements here for the Americans. Connor Kiefer is getting a go in center field, hence why Ian Huang batted for Mathey. Fly ball right to Kiefer, deep center field. He's backing up. He makes the catch. That makes 2 down. So Connor Kiefer getting his shot in center, and if Grant Moore is out for an extended period of time, Kiefer may be the new center fielder for these Americans.
Yeah, he really showed off his mobility and range there in center field and just makes a nice, easy catch. Had to move a little bit out there, but no problem for him.
I mean, he was showing off his mobility and range as a second baseman. So, I mean, I like the move from the Americans to put him in center. There's a line shot right up the middle to Kiefer. He'll be the cutoff man on this base hit. Brady Marshall, his first hit of the day. The 8th for the Skunks, all from different batters. Pretty impressive feat for Jamestown to get so many different hitters involved in the party. And the 2 batters without a hit for Jamestown, Justin Bremner's 0 for 4, but Nathan Borchardt got on with a walk. Eric Weeks has singled once already. There's a fly ball into deep right field, foul territory. Panaro chasing it down, but it's out of play. 0-1 to Eric. Ground out and a pop out, followed up by a single back in the 6th inning. He's batted in every even inning of this game. Meanwhile, Ben Slanker batting in every odd inning of this game. So Slanker and Weeks have yet to come up to bat in the same inning. 2 down and another foul ball down that first base line. Austin Barton is 1 strike away as Brady Toney brings some more balls to the home plate ump. So the Americans, if Moore is set to miss time, it's likely it'll be Ramos and Huang in the middle infield and then Connor Kiefer in center. If this experiment goes well, swing and a miss. Austin Barton has strikeout number 7 in 4 innings. An unbelievable day from Austin. Just 1 run allowed in 4 innings of work and 7 Ks. We'll send it to the bottom of the 8th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Hey fans, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out to the park tonight, and remember that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together, whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization. The Americans are also able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com.
And as we bring you back for the bottom of the 8th inning, the Tarp Skunks, in 8 innings up to bat, have left 10 runners on base. At least 1 every single inning. So they're leaving a lot of runs on the table. The Americans, albeit, have left 5 on base, but that doesn't compare to Jamestown's total. It's allowing the Americans to stay in this game despite getting out-hit 8-2. And both of those runs came before the Americans even had a hit on the board.
Yeah, it seemed like the Tarp Skunks definitely were threatening to score in some innings, but Americans just playing some good defense and getting out of innings without any more runs, so it's definitely a close game here.
Ramos, the 9-hitter for the Americans, takes a strike on the backdoor slider. That's a pitch that's really been working well for Nick Iannello. He's in his 4th inning of work. Both teams, looks they're trying to keep it to just 2 pitchers. And it's 0-2 to Alan Ramos. As Iannello going strong in his 4th inning of work. has seen time as a starter in addition to a reliever. Ramos, the ground ball, bobbled by Iannello. Ramos looking to beat it out. He gets there in time. Alan Ramos with the infield single. Third hit of the day for the Americans, and Alan Ramos was in a bit of a slump, but breaking out of it.
Yeah, it's a great spot for Ramos. Like you said, Andrew, get out of his slump and got a runner on first here for the Americans with no outs here, so we could see a threat to score here with these Americans down by 1.
Connor Kiefer, now the center fielder, up to bat to round out the third time through this Americans order here in the 8th. Pickoff attempt on first, unsuccessful. Alan Ramos, one of those guys, it's just going to be very hard to catch on those. Ramos, one of the fastest on the team. Third on the team with 6 steals, and second is Evan Core, who left about a week ago. Ramos, another pickoff attempt unsuccessful. Grant Moore, still the steal leader with 33 stolen bases. Unknown how many more will be added to that. Just gotta hope Grant's okay, and we'll be back with the team soon. Kiefer shows bunt. Heads towards first, and it's bobbled again by Iannello. Iannello great on the mound, but I don't know about that defense from the Tarp Skunks pitcher. An error on the pitcher. Connor Kiefer makes it first and second. Reaching for the first time tonight. And here's Liam Schott.
Yeah, it seemed like Kiefer was trying to just get a sack bunt to get Ramos to second, but even better now, the Americans got 2 runners on.
With nobody out, and Iannello may not be giving up a lot as a pitcher, but his defense struggling in this inning. The pop-up right into the glove of Blake Herman for out number 1 there. Liam Schott quickly retired. Chris Gazaldo up next.
Yeah,
and here's the moment for Gazaldo.
Yeah, Gazaldo's got a good chance here to knock in some runs, but yeah, Liam Schott right there, try to lay down a bunt, just came off his bed a little funky, just popped up in the air.
Yeah, the bunt popped up for out number 1, and Chris Gazaldo was the hero on Tuesday night. Chance for a go-ahead knock right here. He has 2 runners on. Americans are 13-6 when he has a hit. He's the X factor again, as it's a pass ball to send the runners to second and third. Not every day you see both catchers have a pass ball in the same game, but here we are.
Yeah, it seemed like Gazaldo there too was showing bunt, but no bunt needed as both the runners advance.
Yeah, he gets the job done without even bunting. 2 runners in scoring position. Chris Gazaldo representing a go-ahead opportunity for these Americans. The go-ahead run is Connor Kiefer on second. Gazaldo changed the score from 3-2 to 4-3 back on Tuesday night. Can he do it again in the bottom of the 8th here? 1 ball on the count for him. Gazaldo. We call him the X Factor for a reason. It's another X Factor moment for him. That's a liner right into the glove of Brady Marshall. Gazaldo, some nice contact, but Brady Marshall's there to cut it off. I mean, a nice effort from Chris, but now Gavin Boyle with the opportunity to be the hero.
Yeah, that would have been a nice hit if Gazaldo's ball there got out of the infield, but unfortunately, nice catch by the Tarp Skunks, so it's all down to Gavin Boyle. He'll try to get a run across here before the bottom of the 9th.
And I mean, the Americans have won games without a Chris Gazaldo hit, but they've had much better opportunities of winning when he's had a hit. Low ball 1 to Gavin Boyle. Boyle 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Both of them came swinging. Gavin Boyle, his patience has been a little bit on and off throughout the year. It's an outside ball 2 here. Walk here would load the bases for the cleanup hitter. Graydon Miller would have a chance to do just that. Miller without a hit so far today, but has walked. Iannello seems to be tiring here in this 8th inning. Still pitching well, but in the field has struggled. Timeout for Gavin Boyle. He steps out briefly. Just felt a seagull scratch against the press box window here. Quick mound visit.
Oh.
Frank Jagoda coming in to meet with Nick Iannello here.
Yeah, I think the Tarp Skunks might have heard your broadcast, Andrew, and heard him hearing about Iannello struggling in the field and fielding balls, so they got to talk to him about that.
There's action in the Skunks bullpen now. Could be a third pitcher brought in for Jamestown. I mean, this Jamestown bullpen is so deep. And the reliever warming up for the Skunks is Will Taylor, a lefty. The Americans don't want to have to deal with a left-hander here, especially with how they've struggled against him. Iannello hanging in there to face the left-hander Boyle. An interesting choice from Jagoda. He's got a lefty in the pen who could force the left-on-left matchup, but the nod of faith in his pitcher Iannello right here after the mound visit. Taylor a 3.97 ERA, but Iannello even lower. Boyle takes another outside. It's 3-0 on this count. Big opportunity for the Americans. The lights are on, and they could not be brighter for Niagara Falls. Looking to avoid the sweep. Intentional walk of Gavin Boyle. I mean, they were already pitching around this guy, but the home run power too much to play around with for these Tarp Skunks.
Yeah, I have to agree there, Andrew. I mean, it's a 3-0 count. Might as well not factor in anything else into the game, so they're just going to walk them there. And now they got the force play, but Graydon Miller's up to bat here.
Bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter, Graydon Miller. Could not have scripted it any more perfectly. It's outside for ball 1. There is nowhere to put Graydon Miller. He's already walked once. A walk here, and the tying run comes home. Alan Ramos led this inning off with an infield single, can come all the way around to score. Even a wild pitcher pass ball could get him in. That's down the third base line, but just foul. A little early on the contact there. Seagulls pecking around right where the ball went. And, Randy Johnson, famous for hitting a seagull. It's going to be hard not to hit one here tonight for these Americans.
I feel like they're storming the field here.
Miller, line shot into left field. It's a base hit. It's headed back towards the wall, but cut off by the center fielder. 1 run scores. Second comes in. Americans take a 4-3 lead. Graydon Miller, the go-ahead knock. Americans do it in the 8th inning.
Wow. What a great piece of hitting right there from Graydon Miller. Just not too much power, not too much, but he just gets it right over the infield and gets a hit, and 2 more runs come in for the Americans to take this lead late in the game.
The Americans were hungry to avoid this sweep, and that is going to be a big help. Nico Frizzell botching the defensive stop in center field after the liner dropped in left center. Wang down 0-1 early. Ian Wang came in for Tommy Mathey. Mathey's 5-game hit streak is dead, but a 6-game on-base streak after a pair of walks. Just on the outside edge for strike 2. Nick Iannello 1 strike away after giving up a pair of runs. Ramos and Kiefer scored. Pitch from Nick outside for ball 1. Free McCafe frappes for everyone. As the Americans now up to 4 runs after they were down 3-2. Huang down in the count at 1-2.
So good.
Runners on first and second. It's Miller as well as Boyle. Foul ball for Huang to make it 1-2. Boyle's the lead runner at second. Miller right behind him. Huang batting from the left side to face the righty Ianello. 1-2 pitch fouled off again. Keeps lining him down that foul line. None of them going fair so far. The Americans were at just 2 hits. Both of them were by Nick Pass. They've doubled their hit total and doubled their run total in this 8th inning alone to take the lead. Another foul ball on that third base side. Huang keeps pulling the ball. One and two. Ianello hungry for that final strike, but Huang breaking him up. And these hungry fans are going to get McCafe frappes thanks to the runs scored.
Yeah, it's always a good time here at the barbershop, especially when we get our free McCafe frappes.
One-two pitch is a fly ball into left field foul territory. That is going to go out of play again. Ian Huang making for a very long at bat here. Nick Ianello tiring with 2 ducks on the pond and Huang up to bat. Huang ready for the 1-2 pitch. Feels like Groundhog Day. It just keeps happening. There's a fly ball. This one in fair territory, going back into center field, and it drops for the double. Ian Huang with extra bases. 2 runs coming in. The Americans double up the Tarp Skunks. It's 6-3. Ian Huang breaks this game open. How about that? 2 RBIs for Ian. 2 RBIs for Graydon, and the Americans have scored 4 runs in this inning.
I mean, Ian Huang there, Andrew, he just spent about, I don't know, $30 in baseballs, sending them foul, and he definitely gets his money worth sending that ball into the outfield, getting an extra base hit, and driving in 2 runs for these Americans.
And that's it for Nick Ianello. I think that was pretty much determined. Will Taylor set to come in for the Skunks to face Nick Pass, who already has 2 hits today. We'll take a break from the audio for the moment. Bring you back with the call to the bullpen for Jamestown. Will Taylor coming into the game for Nick Ianello. He's 4-0 with a 3.97 ERA and 15 strikeouts, product of Trinity College in Texas. So Taylor, the left-handed pitcher, has a righty first up in Nick Past. And this is not just any righty. This is a hot righty. Double and a single tonight. Also got hit by a pitch. He's yet to be retired in this game. Past, despite catching almost every single game over the last 2 weeks, has looked good in this game, and he's hanging in there as a consistent force in this Americans lineup.
Yeah, you would expect some wear and tear here from pass playing so much, getting a lot of playing time behind the plate, but shown no signs of weakness. No inability here for him to play.
Americans with back-to-back 2 RBI knocks. First Graydon Miller to score Ramos and Kiefer, and then Ian Wang on the double scores Boyle and Miller. It's 1-0 to Nick Past, who's looking to get on for the 4th time today. Taylor sends another one upstairs. Early 2-ball count for Nick. 2-0 on 2-0. With 2 down as well. And a runner on second. 2's the magic number. Can Nick Past score 2 with a home run? It's a foul ball to make it 2-1. I mean, if only Tommy Mathay was still in this game. He's the real number 2. Carm Panaro on deck, looking to get up in this inning. Americans nearing batting around. Past, fouls it off. It's 2s across the board. It's their 8th hitter up this inning. We just need to bring up Panaro, Stickler, and then Ramos another time, and they've been rallying in this 8th. 4 runs scored already. Can Past add to the party? Low and inside for ball 3. Briefly gets away from Lindquist, but Ian Wang playing it safe, scurrying back to second.
Yeah, Wang there was thinking about taking third, but decides to play it safe and stays there over at second.
Wang on second base. Count full on pass. That gets in there on the inside corner for strike 3. Nick Past goes down looking. That'll do it for the 8th inning, but it's a big one for the Americans. They now lead 6-3, a 4-run explosion to take this lead. We'll send it to the top of the 9th after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Hudson Boring comes in for this top of the 9th. Boring started the game on Monday against the Ironbacks. 4 days later, coming in with the chance for the save. And I mean, that's short rest for a starter, but for a closer, Hudson Boring on more than normal rest. And Boring already has 4 saves this year, so in addition to serving as a starter, has served as a closer at different points during this season. Blake Herman, Nico Frizzell, and Branston Lindquist, the final 3 in Jamestown's order, and if Boring is at his best, could be the final 3 up in this entire game.
Yeah, after the Americans were seemingly to be down and out, they don't hide away from controversy and they come back, and let's see if they can finish it out here.
Already made a comeback against the Muck Dogs on Tuesday. That was in walk-off fashion. This time around, they get the job done in the 8th inning. Just need a clean inning from Hudson Boring to end this game in 8.5. 1-0 here, and that's upstairs for another ball. Hudson Boring. Some early balls on the count. Needs to find that command of the strike zone. Americans fans know and love out of him. There it is, right down the pike for strike one. Catches Herman off guard. He doesn't even bite at it. Boring. Sets for the 2-1 pitch now. Just inside, a close shave. Chance for the walk here for Blake Herman. I don't know, Boring would want to start his day. See if he can recover. He will not. It's an inside ball for Blake Herman on base for the third time today. Quite the day from Herman. Reached on an error, had a single, sac fly, and now a walk. Dom Costello coming in to pinch hit for Nico Frizzell. Costello, a much bigger bat than Frizzell. Batting .302 on the year with a .702 OPS compared to Frizzell's sub-100 batting average coming into the game. Strike one to Costello on the low edge of the zone. Tarp Skunks making a push to try and come back after a 4-run outburst for the Americans. Just outside and away to even up the count. Boring looking to avoid his second straight walk. Dom Costello looking to do some damage in the pinch hitting opportunity. And that's fouled off down the third base line. It's 1-2. Costello DH'd the first two games of this Tarp Skunks American Series. Has seen some time in right field this season, but that's lessened since Ben Slanker joined the team. No more for his offense than his defense, and there's another fly ball in foul territory. Goes out of play to keep it 1-2 and keep Costello alive. Boring has the count in his favor. Can he finish the job for his first strikeout of the night? Would also be strikeout number 26 on the year, but instead the grounder. Gazaldo at third, gets the out at second. But the slide cutting off the throw to first, and it's just going to be one out right there.
Yeah, not a bad out there for the Americans. Could have been a double play, but one's better than none, so.
Runner on first is now Dom Costello, takes Herman's spot. The silver lining there is no runners advancing. And Lindquist flies that into right field foul territory. Pinaro chasing it down, but it's way out of play. Strike on the count. And there was a pinch hitter for Frizzell, but Lindquist and Brady McGuire set to be the next two batters for Jamestown. They both started this game. Lindquist behind the dish, McGuire at second base. Both of them have been at those positions for all three games of this series, and they have been excellent there. The 0-1 fouled off by Lindquist. I mean, Lindquist did have a pass ball tonight that hurt these Tarp Skunks, but beyond that, been a rock behind the plate. Boring. Looking for the 3-pitch strikeout right here. Instead, it's a breaking ball too low for ball one. Hudson Boring was looking for the backdoor slider there, but a little bit of unexpected drop on that pitch. And it's below the zone. Here's the 1-2, and it's a fastball to even up this count. Threw it straight down. Hoping to get Lindquist to chase, but no bite from Branston. 2-2 pitch. Just outside. Boring looking for that corner, but has not found it. 0-2 has turned into 3-2. Can the Skunks get a second runner on base with Hudson Boring looking for a save? Boring would take sole possession of the team lead in saves with a save tonight. But instead, right here, it's ball four. Runners on first and second, and here comes the tying run, Brady McGuire. Hudson Boring has walked 2 and retired just 1. Brady McGuire is 1 for 4 with a triple. Pinch runner coming in at first base. It's Aiden Nolasco pinch running for Lindquist. Nolasco has mixed in at second for the Skunks over the course of the season. McGuire, a triple in his only hit today. That would be big here, but the Americans looking to close out this game on the back of Boring, and that's a low strike 1 to Brady McGuire. McGuire's 0 for his last 3 since the leadoff 3-baser. Boring. It's certainly not been boring to watch throughout the course of this season. There's a ground ball right to Miller at first. Going to be an easy out there, but runners advance to second and third. Nolan Smith, the final hope for the Skunks, and the tying run represented at home plate. Brady McGuire retired, but runners on second and third are Costello and Nolasco. Both came in just this inning. Or excuse me, it's Herman. Yeah, it is Costello and Nolasco. Check that. First pitch from Boring. Low for ball 1. Boring. Gonna end it right here. Down to his final out. Fouled off to even up the count. Nolan Smith has walked twice, doubled once, grounded out once. Puts him at 1 for 2 on the day. Trying to reach base for a 4th time. And ideally, knock in some runs. But Hudson Boring ready to prevent that. Americans with the most runs scored in a while for this team. They haven't scored this many runs in a game since Geneva a week ago. It's now 2-1. These bats had cooled off significantly, but in this game, they've woken up. 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 8th after a tie at 2 over the first handful of innings. There's a fly ball foul. 2s across the board. Hudson Boring looking for the final strike and the final out. The Americans looking for their biggest win in a while. They've scored the most runs in a game since a week ago today in this one. Had been limited to just 5 over their last handful of games. That gets in there on the outside edge for strike 3. Hudson Boring sends Smith down looking. The Americans win 6-3. What a win for Niagara Falls. They avoid the sweep. They tie the Skunks in the standings, albeit without the tiebreaker. But the Americans with some much needed bats waking up in this game. What a win, Avery.
Yeah, that game was amazing. I mean, obviously not the best start for the Americans, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the Americans definitely finished here with a 6-3 win over the Tarp Skunks. And Andrew, my player of the game, I'm going to go with Nick Past. He started off the hits for the Americans, although we had some runs across, but he got the bat started and he stayed pretty high here tonight. It's a great game out of him, especially behind the plate, too.
I mean, great game for Past. But I'm going to go with Ian Wang. Comes into the game playing second base, and then 2 at-bats in. He had been slumping over the recent stretch, gets an RBI double. And, I mean, the Americans could have stopped it there and said, hey, we got a 1-run lead. We're all good. No, Ian Wang comes in, expands the lead, gets some insurance for Hudson Boring. Had him feeling more comfortable in that 9th inning. Ian Wang, my MVP for this game, despite coming in off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Andrew, one run lead, probably not the best lead in sports, but they had it, but they extended their lead, and Without saying, though, Andrew, I got to give my flowers to Austin Bart. He pitched a great game today, getting a lot of strikeouts, got guys looking, and he really got the Americans through the middle of this game to really hold them and get them through this game to eventually pull out the win.
I mean, the pitching has been great for the Americans for the entire stretch this week. It's what's allowed them to win a lot of games when the bats, quite honestly, have been cold dating all the way back to a couple weeks ago. Their only outbursts of big double-digit run tallies were against the Ironbacks and Red Wings. But Avery, thank you so much for coming on the call today.
Yeah, it was a great day, Andrew, and a great game and a great performance by these Americans.
Yeah, great performance indeed. That's going to do it here on the broadcast. For all the fans who tuned in, thank you so much for watching. This has been Americans Baseball. The next game for these Niagara Falls Americans will be on Sunday at the Batavia Muck Dogs at 4 p.m. for the first pitch. And we remind you, this ninth inning is sponsored by Casella, Solino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages. But for now, I've been Andrew Roberts, this has been Avery Vogt, and we thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on